Magandang hapon sa lahat-lahat. Tayo ay andito ulit at ang magandang nangyayari ay marami tayong natututunan, marami tayong naririnig. Ang importante, hindi tayo nalilihis doon sa ating dapat patunguhan. So ito yung naging in a nutshell. No, to recap what happened on day 9, ang ating naging prosecution witness ay ang ating NBI Director, Attorney Melvin Matibag. At ano ba ang mga nangyari at ano ang kanyang napakita? Natupad ng betrayal of public trust na sinasabi ng Vice Presidente na may kinausap siya para patayin si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay ni-reaffirm ni Director Matibag. Hindi ito galing sa akin, kundi ito ang nakita at napresenta ng prosecution sa pag-imbita bilang witness kay Director Matibag. Hindi natibag si Director Matibag. Inulit rin niya ang banta sa buhay ng Pangulo at inilink ito bilang banta sa pambansang seguridad. Next slide, please. Ipinakita rin ni Director Matibag na tila may pattern of violence ang ating Vice Presidente base sa kanyang mga nakaraang pag-uugali tulad ng panunukto sa isang sheriff noong 2011. Ito ang mga bagay na ipinakita ni Director Matibag. Sa interpellation naman ng Senator Judges, sinabi rin ni Director Matibag na nasa 20 ang bilang ng persons of interest na tinitingnan ng NBI kabilang na ang ilang security ng ating pangalawang Pangulo kaugnay sa kanyang naging bantang pagpatay kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Next slide, please. Pinili ng prosecution na hindi na magsagawa pa ng redirect examination dahil naniniwala silang hindi na ito kailangan. Dahil naipakita na ni Director Matibag na solid at naipakita niya ang ebidensya dun sa mga ipinahayag ng ating prosecution. I think that's all.
Salamat po, Deputy Speaker Garin. At ngayon po, magpapatuloy na tayo sa ating balitalakayan ngayong hapon. Hintayin lang natin makasettle down ang ating mga panauhin ngayong hapon na ito. Bago tayo magsimula sa ating talakayan kung ano man ang mga tanong na nais niyong malinawan sa mga issue at kaganapan ngayong araw na ito. Maswerte po tayo na may tatlo tayong guest ngayong hapon na ito. Kasama na nga ni DS Garin. Walang iba kundi ang team leader po ng House Prosecution Panel. Walang iba kundi si Representative Gerville, Jinky Bitrics Luistro ng 2nd District ng Batangas. At of course, ang batikang abogado, Counsel for the Prosecution, walang iba kundi si Atty. Lorna Kapunan. Hintayin lang po natin makasettle down sila sa ating table para masagot ang inyong mga katanungan. Samantala, maaari nating balikan yung mga mahalagang puntong diniscuss kanina ni DS Garin para po maging basihan ng inyong mga katanungan at mga follow-up sa mga pangyayari ngayong hapon na ito. Ayusin lang natin yung isang upuan para may maayos kay... Ayan, maayos ang... Ayan. Ayan, para po siguro sa panimula, siguro magandang hingan muna natin ng panimulang panalita ang team leader ng ating prosecution panel, lalong-lalo na ngayon na natapos na ang presentation ng mga witnesses para sa 4th article of impeachment.
Good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Of course, we feel happy because finally we are able to accomplish at least one article, no? 3 more to go. Anong sabi ko sa Justice? Malayo na pero malayo pa, no? But nevertheless, we are already preparing for the succeeding articles. Ang susunod natin, of course, is confidential fund, no? And the prosecution is always ready for the upcoming trial. We are positive because in this article, naging napakaganda at kompleto ng testimonya ng ating mga testigo. We had only 3 witnesses, and I must say that all of them are powerful witnesses. In the person of Agent Calilong, Attorney Lotok, and of course, ultimately, Director Matibag, na naging very, very important ang kanyang naging testimonya. Without discussing the details, of course, dwelling on the merits. Thank you.
Ma'am, sorry, hindi muna ako magdedwell dun sa nangyaring trial. Just want to clarify, yung prosecution po ba, nag-request po sa Senate na i-shoulder yung magiging mga expenses ng prosecution panel for the trial? Like for example, yung mga food and other mga necessities na kailangan po ng prosecution team.
Wala kaming ganung request because in the history of having Senate proceedings, usually naman kapag may meeting and if they serve snacks, then tinatanggap yon. Pero requesting for the expenses of the prosecution, wala.
Ma'am, the reason why I am asking this is because meron pong lumitaw na letter coming from the Office of the Vice President, signed by Vice President Sara Duterte herself, na requesting for for their own catering and other necessities dahil daw po may security threats. And alongside po dun sa letter, meron din pong request na bayaran, i-shoulder po ng Senate yung mga expenses ng defense panel. Nabasa niyo po ba ito and any reaction po regarding this?
Hindi ko pa nabasa yung sulat, no? Pero kung totoo man yung request na yon, una-una yung request na magkaroon ng catering, yan ay karapatan ng defense, no? At yan ay nirirespeto natin. Doon naman sa katanungan na merong request na i-shoulder ng Senado expenses, it will be best for Senate to answer that. Subalit, no, I find it highly improper kasi may opisina rin naman ng ating pangalawang Pangulo and they can actually charge all those expenses to their office.
Wouldn't this be, parang may epekto po ba ito sa trial kung yung, kasi as much as possible, all sides try to maintain independence from another, yung defense, yung prosecution, saka yung court. Yung mga ganitong request po ba, merong pwedeng maalagay sa alanganin yung independence of one body or one party from another?
Well, if it's the prosecution or the defense providing for the catering and the food of the senator judges, talagang bawal na bawal yan. But if it's requesting the judges to provide for the food of the defense, medyo funny siya. Oo. Sorry ha. Kasi parang sinabi mong nasa isang pagdinig ka, tapos sasabihin mo, pakainin mo itong aming mga abogado, pakainin mo itong aming mga kasama. That usually does not happen, no? And alam mo, ito ay impeachment court, no? It can also be misconstrued. Of course, with due courtesy to the Senate, kasi sila ang dapat sumagot niyan. Pero as a bystander, kumbaga, kung titingnan mo, pwede kasi siyang ma-misinterpret na disrespect sa korte, and in this case, the Senate.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Idagdag ko lang ha, narinig ko sa'yo sa kanina, merong fear doon sa pagkain. Tama ba?
Yes po, parang kaya po sila nag-request for sariling caterer kasi because of security concerns daw po.
Okay. So hindi lamang na papagastusan sa Senado yung pagkain ng abogado at mga kasamahan ng defense, kundi kasama rin doon na ang caterer ay hindi Senado.
Yes po, parang doon po sa letter, parang yung they want to have their own caterer of their choice po, tapos ipapa-shoulder po nila sana sa Senate.
Okay. So yung isa lang kasi doon, yung pagdududahan mo ng Senado na baka mamaya belaso yung ipapakain sa mga tao, medyo maiinsulto ang ating Senado dyan. Kasi para namang ang layo-layo nung ganong, nobody in his right mind would plan to poison anybody that enters the premises of Senate. That I can assure.
Thank you po.
Magandang hapon po, Haji Kaamin niyo po, Brigada News FM. Ma'am, una po sa lahat, kumustahin ka po muna namin. The reason why I ask is because since yesterday, parang, di ba, nagkaroon po ng, dun sa interjection ni Senator Judge Pia Cayetano, and then today, si Senator Judge Robin Padilla. Kumusta po kayo, ma'am, after po nung nangyari po mga incidents involving the two senator judges?
Of course, yung mga ganong interjections, that's part of the trial. They are senator judges and they have the prerogative to raise clarificatory questions anytime they want, no? And of course, yun naman kay Senator Pia, I was able to make the necessary manifestation kanina. Hindi ko lang siya masyadong nag-gets agad kahapon because apparently she tried to limit my answer to yes or no only, and I was not given opportunity to explain. And that is why I really tried na ma-manifest kanina to put it on record. At yun na may paulit-ulit na rin sinasabi ng presiding officer during the entire presentation of NBI Director Melvin Matibag, na yung affidavit ni Las Cañas ay present. Wait, this is merits. This is merits. The affidavit was presented to prove only what happened in the investigation and not for anything else. So, as to whether it is notarized or hindi, it should not be an issue.
But how did you feel, ma'am? Did you feel na medyo off po yun or nabastos po ba kayo or nalimitahan? Paano po
I feel deprived. Deprived of the opportunity to explain, no? And that is why kanina nung tinatanong ako ni Senator Robin, I cannot answer without qualifying. Because it's hard to be confronted with a question of yes or no only. Because it's important that you give context to your yes or to your no.
Okay, last question na lang po. Sabi niyo po kanina, you presented the powerful witnesses kahit natatatlo lang po sila. So, would you say, ma'am, na nag-suffice po yung tatlo na yon kahit na winidraw na po yung naunang anim? Kumbaga, sabi niyo nga po kanina, kompleto na yung sa grave threat. So, hindi na talaga kinailangan dahil sapat na yung tatlo po na ito.
That is why I said, instead of doing the direct, the prosecution finds it unnecessary to conduct the redirect examination. That is for the reason that we honestly believe kompleto na ang testimonya ng aming tatlong testigo with respect to article on threat.
All right. Agate, I think you raised her.
Hello po. My question po pertains to what the plan is after the presiding officer said Attorney Tolosa may want to reconsider the spokesperson role nga po and have someone who's not limited to the rules of the impeachment court instead po.
We will bring that up with Attorney J. Tolosa, no? And ever since naman, we are always deciding as a team, no? So we will be consulting each other as to the best action to take for Attorney Tolosa. But ultimately, of course, this will be his decision.
And then may
The question was posed not only for consideration of the prosecution but also for the defense, no? Because same situation si Attorney Poa, who also is a prosecutor, who was also a defense lawyer, and at the same time a spokesperson. So, as our chair and lead public prosec has always said, all decisions of the prosecution, whether it be public or private, is always consultative, collegial and consensual. So pag-uusapan pa natin yan.
And then regarding naman po specifically yung comment ni Senator Padilla na sana daw hindi one-sided yung prosecution daw po. Ano po yung reaction doon since parang umingay po sa loob ng session hall when that was said?
Well, with all due respect kay Senator Judge Robin Padilla, no? Apparently, this impeachment trial is adversarial. Maliwanag yun. Kaya merong prosecution is to establish the case. Kaya may defense is to defend the innocence of the respondent, no? So, it is very much anticipated that the prosecution is biased towards presenting the case. Presenting the evidence, no? Siguro mas nakakapagtaka pag naging neutral ang prosecution. At lalong nakakapagtaka kung i-defend namin yung respondent, no? So,
I think Kong Jinky is very diplomatic na, in her answer. Kasi ako, maginoo pero medyo bastos tayo. No? But I've always said that sometimes the Senate impeachment hearings are in black and white. And we're very appreciative that Senator Robin always brings color and surprise and excitement. It's as if, especially if he's the last one to manifest, nagigising po kaming lahat. Kanina talaga nagigising kaming lahat. At pinagalitan pa kami sa front row. So may I use this opportunity to apologize to Senator Judge Robin. There was no intent to disrespect him. No? Kaya lang, syempre, pag lawyer ka at nasa litigation ka, i-emote ka mag-i-emote ka. No? Alam naman nila yung, hindi naman emote na drama, pero it is an instinctive reaction. There was really no intent to disrespect him when he said, lalong-lalo na yung mga nasa front row, nagtinginan kaming ganyan, yung pala kami yun, nasa front row. So, Senator Robin, sabi mo, kaibigan tayo, forgive na lang. Hindi na kami uulit dyan. Pero, the prosecution really is for the prosecution. And the defense is for the defense. Hindi ba? Ganon. As we say, it is the nature of the beast.
the senator judge must be the one who is neutral.
Okay.
Yung siguro sinasabing dapat neutral, that applies to senator judges.
Ang quote dyan, talbog rin sa inyo. Talbog sa inyo. I mean, if you're saying that to us, we're saying it back to you. No? It goes back to you. The issue of bias also.
Talbog is bounce.
We're bouncing back the question, back to you. That's, tama ba, is talbog? Correct, is talbog, no? So,
Ibalik lang natin doon sa tamang konteksto. No? Of course, with due courtesy to Senator Robin, nirirespeto naman natin yung kanyang pananaw na parang one-sided, no, ang prosecution. Pero ibalik natin, ang Kongreso ang siyang tumanggap ng impeachment complaint sang-ayon sa konstitusyon. Tiningnan kung may complaint ba kumpleto sa forma at may basihan at nakita at sinang-ayunan ng 257 congressman na isumiti yung articles of impeachment. Ibig sabihin, ang Kongreso na ngayon, ang prosecutor o yung magre-representa ng mga nagreklamo at sang-ayon doon sa mga nakitang pwede, may probable cause. Ngayon ay naiakyat iyan sa korte na ang Senado in this case. Dito naman sa korte, talagang bubuksan mo na ang lahat ng pruweba na ipapakita ng prosecution para i-confirm or sang-ayunan or tuldukan yung mga reklamo at patotohanan yung mga reklamo. Yung defense naman ay yung akusado kung saan, in its word itself, defense, dedepensa. Yan po ang sitwasyon. Ang neutral ay ang senator judges kasi kailangan nilang pakinggan, i-analyze, pag-aralan, pagdebatihan ang lahat na related sa kaso para magdesisyon. Hindi pwedeng maging biased ang senator judges, pero ang defense talagang ididepensahan nila ang akusado. Ang prosecutor naman ay siya ang magtutulak para i-prove na meron silang tamang kaso. Yan po ang sitwasyon. Siguro, baka nasobrahan ng galing, no, ng ating mga prosecutors kaakibat ang ating private volunteer prosecutors. Kasi syempre, nakita siguro ng ating isang senator judge, hindi lang siguro isa, baka nakita ng karamihan na talagang solid ang ebidensya, hindi pwedeng malihis, hindi pwedeng mahinto, kailangan ipagpatuloy at kailangang tuldukan. Kaya nirerespeto namin si Senator Robin Padilla, pero ibalik natin, ano ba ang nararapat, ano ang dapat at saan ito patungo?
Follow-up question lang po, Attorney. Ano po ba yung instinctive reaction that Senator Robin reacted to? Ano po yung nangyayari sa front row?
Hindi ko na maalala kasi wag na lang kasi kami sa front row kasi alam namin nakikita kami sa camera na trying to behave kami. Trying to behave. Kaya lang minsan mahirap mag-behave kasi yung you react as a lawyer, no? You react kasi yung years of experience namin. Parang sa korte yan, 'di ba, nanonood naman kayo ng mga court scenes, no? 'Di ba? Yung mga ibang lawyers pa nga nagpa-pound on the table. Objection, Your Honor, yung mga ganyan. Kanya nakaganyan na lang ako, nagdadasal na lang ako para hindi ako mag-react. No, but you know, it is not out of disrespect. It is because of our years of training where we instinctively react to what we think is wrong or to what we think is unfair. As I've said before, we cannot, unlike if it were the defense, for instance, we're prosecution, if it were the defense who made a statement or who made an unfair allegation, we can contest it. Kaya lang pag senator judges, syempre hindi pwede. So, and that is why sometimes a reaction is more visual than vocal.
Sorry po. Very brief follow-up din since related naman po ito doon. I'd like to address this question po to Attorney Lorna Kapunan kasi you've been in the legal practice po no for almost 5 decades. Since you're a veteran litigator po, sa inyong personal na pananaw, was Senator Robin Padilla's questioning of Representative Luistro kanina was a fair question? Kasi at one point may sinabi pa po siya na wala kang karapatang magtanong. Patas po ba yun? Balanse po ba yun para sa isang normal na court procedure?
Alam mo, the problem with us lawyers, no?
It was a request for clarification.
Yes.
I didn't know exactly whether he was asking a question or he was manifesting. Kasi at one point, he was talking about the witnesses, our witnesses. And then suddenly, he was talking about the senators who have pending cases. That's why I tried to seek for clarification.
Patas po ba yun, Attorney Kapunan?
Let me just say this, no, as a general strategy, no. Alam nyo, sabi namin ng mga lawyers, if you are weak on the facts, argue on the laws. If you're weak on the facts and the law, go against the person. So, ang nangyayari po ngayon, sana, if there is a perception that we're very strong on the facts. That's why nagsishift sila sa law. But now that it seems that there's also weakness in the law, nagsishift na ang defense sa personalities, no? Attacking the credibility of our witnesses, attacking some persons who are not even our witnesses, like to say that they committed crime or they are not worthy to be, they're not credible, no? Merong ang inatake na cited for perjury na hindi naman naming witness. And when that failed, there was an attack on our earlier 2 witnesses saying that maniniwala ba kayo sa even the 2 earlier witnesses, no, who were credible and competent. The attack now was on their may conviction or may kaso and all that. which is why we very welcome the statement of Kong Jinky when she says they have been vetted and there are no pending cases or convictions against them. And citing the law also, Chair Jinky did say that pending case will not, if there is no crime, conviction for a crime of moral turpitude, it will not affect your credibility as a witness.
Good evening po, ma'ams. Regarding po dun sa, yun nga po, dapat ang senator judges yung neutrality. Pero ang nakakitaan ng neutrality. Pero nasa ikasyam na araw pa lang po tayo ng impeachment trial, nakikita na po natin na it seems like may nagde-defend sa Vice President justifying her acts against the sheriff, etc. Can we say at this point in time, mas difficult ma-attain yung conviction against the Vice President because of these biases na nakikita na po sa senator judges?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think so. Kanya-kanyang style yan eh. Minsan ginagawa ng isang judge yan para hindi siya mabasa. At yung mga katanungan naman nila, it can always be geared towards meron silang gustong i-attain or pwede rin na kunyari hindi nila alam. Pero what they're doing is actually observing the body language of the witnesses and even the prosecutors. Kasi kitang-kita naman nila yan na kapag walang itinatago, lalong-lalo na yung ebidensya. So nananaig pa rin kami na solido ang ating Senado at ang impeachment court, whether they will give a verdict of guilty or not guilty, yun ay magiging sang-ayon sa pagpresenta ng mga dokumentong magbibigay, maglalatag ng ebidensya headed by our prosecutor, Gerville, Jinky, Luistro.
Well, we wish to believe na conscious sila sa kanilang constitutional duty, most especially in terms of political neutrality. Sabihin na lang natin na yung mga manifestations and questions, although according to you, ay parang merong mga biases, no? Let us charge it perhaps to just being inquisitive. They are just being inquisitive. And at the end of the day, I am hopeful na political neutrality ang mananaig. Sapagkat napakaliwanag niyan sa Senate rules on impeachment and they were the ones who drafted and approved that Senate rules, no? So, bago pa tayo, dapat sila yung pinaka-conscious about the mandate of political neutrality.
Also make dagdag, no? The one being judged here is not only the Vice President. The judges also are being judged by the public. Correct? So, marami pong nanonood ng impeachment trial. Sabi namin, it is your right to information. It is an exercise your right of discernment. From the evidence presented in the impeachment court, from the questions and answers of the judges, of the witnesses, and for what the documents speak, no? And from that, discern the truth. Don't be dissuaded by what you perceive as any bias of judges, no? So this is also a good reminder at this stage na tapos na yung first article namin of impeachment, which is violation of the oath of office, culpable violation of the Constitution, high crime, and betrayal of public trust, fitness to run through grave threats and inciting to sedition. Although you judge what you saw. The public will judge what they have seen so far. They will also judge together with the case, the merits of the case. They will also judge the judges. So reminder to, I guess, no, to the court that the public is there, out there, watching you.
Last na lang po on my part. Nakita po namin sa presentation niyo po nitong article na grave threats, naghati po ang private at public prosecutor sa pag-present at direct examination po ng witness. Will we be seeing that in the next article? Articles of impeachment.
Freestyle to. Freestyle, no? So wala namang kaming specific format na inobserve or fina-follow. It can be entirely private prosecutors so long as they are under the direct control and supervision of the public prosecutors. It can be entirely public prosecutors as well, no? Siguro, let's charge it to team effort regardless of kung sinong nakikita nyong tumatayo sa podium. Ultimately, effort yan ng buong impeachment team ng House.
Kagaya kanina, no, you saw it in action when Chairman Jinky asked for a 5-minute recess. And you saw how she consulted both the public and the private prosecutors on whether to proceed with redirect examination. So that is consultation, that is team effort in action.
Is that it, Rosalie? Okay, let's hear now from Dwight.
Hello po. Ito ba? Good afternoon po. Ngayon pong tapos na po yung presentation of Article 4. If the voting takes place today on Article 4, how confident is the prosecution that you would get a conviction for this article?
Okay, if it is dependent alone, if a conviction or acquittal is dependent alone on the evidence of the prosecution, then I can say very confidently that the prosecution has proven its case in terms of grave threats and inciting to sedition, as they are impeachable offenses, not as criminal offenses. Kasi pag pinag-usapan, laging dinadala sa elements of grave threats and inciting, no? Hindi po, not as criminal cases, at violation of her oath of office, of her trust, no? So if it were only dependent on the prosecution's evidence, I think I'm certain of a conviction. But let us wait to hear what is the defense, no? What is the defense of the defense? Kasi a case, to quote Senator Robin, the defense is for the defense, and the prosecution is not biased. We're really for the prosecution. So let's wait for what. It will also depend on the absence of a defense. Kasi the absence of presence of kasi pag nakita natin yung pre-trial order, parang yung mga exhibits nila at saka yung mga witnesses nila, kapareho namin eh. That's why we're saying mirror image. Unless they have a surprise, it is almost predictable what their defense is. No? And they are banking on their belief that they don't need to present evidence if the prosecution has none. But as you can see, after 3 witnesses, matibay ang evidence ng prosecution. Hindi nga, ang sabi naman, hindi matibag si matibay. Mali.
Hindi matibag si matibag.
Okay.
Kong's attorney, dun sa procedurally lang, dun sa Las Cañas affidavit, because if I remember, yung ini-insist kahapon ni Senator Pia is that the affidavit, number 1, is not notarized, and kung hindi siya public document, it also doesn't meet the standards of a private document, if I understood it correctly. Does it matter that it also doesn't meet the criteria of a private document for it to be presented at the impeachment court?
It does not matter because it is being presented only as part of the testimony of the witness to substantiate what the witness said that they considered that as part of their evaluation of pattern of violence of the respondent. As a matter of fact, we never claimed that that is notarized, no? So kung notarized man siya o hindi, original man o hindi, permado man o hindi, bagaman I state for the record, it's signed, no? It's not an issue. Because it is being presented as reiterated by the presiding officer, he allowed it as part of the testimony of the witness and as proof na talagang part siya ng investigation. That's all.
Idagdag ko lang ng konti. Tingnan natin yung konteksto. Ang sinabi ni Director Matibag sa pattern of behavior, at isa nga sa kinote niya dito, yung affidavit ni Las Cañas. Sinabi niyang may affidavit kasi yun ay nasa record nila. Pero hindi niya sinabing nabusisi niya ito kung totoo ba ang lahat na nilalagay sa affidavit. In other words, hindi siya chismis kasi yung chismis nagbulong-bulong lang. Ito dito, ang binasihan niya, ano ba yung mga record? Ano yung mga papel na meron sa loob ng NBI office? At bilang direktor, tiningnan niya lahat ng papeles na ito at naisama nga doon yung affidavit ni Las Cañas. Doon tumuldok. Whether tinanggap yan, nakita natin tinanggap. Now, kung totoo ba yan o papatunayan ba yan is another topic. Ang ini-establish lang ni Director Matibag doon is the pattern of behavior.
Lastly po, reaction na lang patungkol dun sa bagong schedule ng impeachment trial because starting later next week ay umaga na siya, 10
Wednesday next week.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That's correct.
Parang the morning to afternoon. Ito po ba ay ni-request ng prosecution? Ito ba ay ito po ba ay favorable sa inyo yung ganitong schedule kaysa hapon tayo nagsisimula hanggang gabi? How do you expect this change in schedule to affect the proceedings?
The change of schedule was from the initiative of the Senate, no? And we understand na come July 29, ang layo ng November, July 29, magre-resume na yung session nila. In fact, July 28, meron silang kontrasona. July 27 is SONA, July 28 may kontrasona sila, and then July 29, regular session nila yon. And I wish to believe na kaya na-adjust yung schedule ng trial to morning until 3 o'clock is to give time for them to be able to continue yung legislative work naman nila, no? Kasi apparently, naka-recess ngayon. Kaya medyo maluwag pa ang oras ng Senado. But come July 29, regular session nila, kakailanganin nila pagsabayin yan. Impeachment trial and at the same time, legislative work. I do not know exactly kung paano ang magiging oras nila for legislative work, Senate as a legislative body, but I believe na ito yung dahilan kung bakit na-adjust yung oras ng trial.
Ten to 3 with lunch break, parang ganun. Sige.
All right.
Okay na. Thank you po.
Any other questions? Yes.
Sige, habol ko na lang din po. Kasi napansin po namin after the conclusion of the trial, yung mga testimonya po talaga for the Article 4 ay lahat po ay galing sa NBI. Was this a strategy of the prosecution since the beginning or nag-adjust po kayo based on the cross-examination of the defense team?
Well, basically kung tingnan mo, ako yung sasagot, no, kasi puro prosecutors yung kasama ko. Hindi mo naman masasabi na talagang galing lang siya sa NBI. Kasi yung NBI reports naman ay may pinanggalingan rin. So talagang kung titingnan mo, saan ba ito nanggaling? Nanggaling ito doon sa mga reklamo na isinampa sa Kongreso. At nung isinampa ito doon sa Kongreso, tiningnan namin, ginather ang ebidensya, and to formalize and to validate this. Ang tanging naging layunin ng NBI ay to validate or pakatotohanan, patunayan yung mga ebidensyang nilatag ng mga complainants. Kaya yan ang sinunod ng ating prosecutor. So again, it did not merely come from the NBI. The NBI was there to validate and confirm all of this. At ang pinanggalingan doon ay yung mga dokumento, mga sitwasyon na ibinahagi ng ating mga complainants.
So tama naman po yung mga adjustments na ito na nagbawas na kayo ng mga witnesses and then na-retain na po lahat ng NBI officials ay adjustments based on the cross-examination of the defense team and the interventions of senator judges and not a strategy from the very start.
Yes, it's not a strategy, it's because nakitang malinaw ang ebidensya na ilatag na merong pagbabanta, not once but more than once, at ito ay repeated, and at the same time, andun yung pag-link sa betrayal ng public trust or pagtataksil sa tiwala ng taong bayan.
Thank you po.
Bisura magtagalog, uy, Bisaya lang na ba?
Anyway, no more questions? All right. Ann? May pahabol pa pong question from Ann.
I have a question for you. Kayo ba?
Oh, sabi Attorney Kapunan, sabi ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla, you cannot ask question. I am the court.
Mas okay ba sa inyo yung umaga o yung hapon? Mas happy kayo sa hapon?
Will our preference matter?
No, I'm just curious about them kasi syempre may work-life balance, ano, hindi ba? Oh. Mas gusto niyo ng hapon or umaga? Ah,